Hi, I'm Christine from Yoga Mango. Today's practice is based on traditional yoga. It's simple and yet complete and offers calm and resetting for both the mind and body. So come to standing, feet comfortably hip width apart. And we're going to start by lifting and rolling the shoulders. This opens the energetic pathways completely up to the head. Very often, if you're stressed, this can get compromised in some way. And then just lift the toes and place the toes mindfully back down onto the earth. Just notice. Notice your body. Press the feet away from you into the earth. Lift subtly from the chest. Turn the head very gently to the left, through the centre to the right, and come back to the centre. The chin is parallel to the ground or slightly lowered, just giving space at the back of the neck. And then if you've closed your eyes, come to open the eyes. Come to standing, feet hip width apart. And we're going to raise our arms above our shoulders. So this can be done in many ways, but we're going to adopt a soft approach by very subtly bending the knees, and as we breathe in, circle the arms up to wherever it's comfortable for you. And then breathing out, lower the arms. And we're going to repeat this a few times, breathing in, raising the arms up to where it suits you, and then breathing out, lower the arms. And again, breathing in. This is a stretch for the body. Giving the body space. And as we coordinate our movement with our breath, it's beginning to have an effect on the nervous system. And we'll start to calm down. And then lift and roll the shoulders. And then you don't have to move, but I'm going to move just to demonstrate the next movement. So come to have your left hand on your waist and breathing in. Raise the right arm up as far as you can. It can be bent at the elbow to help your arm going up, and then breathing out. Bend your elbow, bend your knees, and come forward, touching either your shin with your right hand, or if you can reach further, touch the floor. It's your choice. And then breathing in, roll up. Again, you can use your hand to support your body if you need to, or if this feels better for you, to come upright. And again, breathing in, raising the arm up, the right arm up, and breathing out, bending the knees, rolling down. I'm going to hold my shin this time. Breathing in, press the feet down, bend the knees, and roll up again. make this a fluid movement. Arm up, bending the elbow, bending the knees, rolling forward. Hands either on the shin or on the floor. And we'll make this next one the last one on this side. Moving slowly, come to standing and release the left hand, lift and roll both shoulders. And then come to place the right hand on the waist. And the same thing, breathing in. Left arm snakes up. Breathing out, bend the knees. And roll down to place your left hand either on the shin or on the floor. Breathing in, rolling up. Stretch up. You can keep your head level, or if that works for you, you can lift your chin mindfully slightly up. We're moving very slowly, so this in itself means that you're feeling your way. You're stretching the front, everything in the body gets space. And you're stretching the back as you come up, raising your arm and come slightly backwards. Bending of the knees is helpful for the back. And you've got the option of not coming down quite so far if you want to just place your hand on your shin. And then lower left arm, release the right arm, come to lift and roll the shoulders. Breathe in as you turn your head to the left and breathe out as you turn your head to the right. And then come back to the centre. Bring your hands together at the heart centre and press the palms together, widening the elbows. And then we're going to come to lying on our mats. And this serves the purpose of letting the body in traditional yoga recover from the movement that we've just made. It might not seem a lot, but actually we have moved the body. So come to lying. You might want to bend your knees first, just to make sure your back is comfortable on the ground. If you do have a very bad back, then you can always keep your knees bent. But otherwise, you can have support under your knees in the form of a bolster or a blanket. But otherwise, come to lying in Shavasana. And you can choose whether you want traditional Savasana with the hands, palms upwards and arms slightly away from the body, feet relax out, or whether you want to just place your hands on your abdomen and widen your elbows slightly. Come to breathe in and out. There's nothing for you to do at this moment. If your hands are on your abdomen, notice the rise and the fall of the abdomen. You can also bring your attention to the base of the nostrils and feel the breath cooler as it goes in and slightly warmer as it comes out. And then very gently extend both heels so that your toes are facing upwards to the ceiling. And then very gently move the toes away from you towards the floor. You choose how much movement you want. Again, as you breathe in, your toes go upwards to the ceiling. And then breathing out, the toes go away from you. And just a couple of times to your own breath pattern. This is beginning to wake the body up and to activate the circulation in the body, which in turn will start to boost our immune system if you have a healthy circulation. But this is very gentle. And then start to change the up and down movement to circling your ankles in one direction. Just notice on your circle where you might compromise the movement, it's not quite circular. Any stiffness, it doesn't matter, just a circle-like movement. And this again is beginning to still work on the circulation, but also to move and work into the ankle joint. And we need our ankle joint to give us our leg support and really our whole body support. And then very gently think about reversing the circle so that your toes and your ankles are circling in the opposite direction. If you're on a long journey or flying, this is a really easy and excellent way to start to boost the circulation in the body. And then not forgetting the hands. Just leave your elbows on the ground, bring the hands slightly upwards, and just stretch the fingers, and then move the fingers in the opposite direction. And relaxing your legs out to the side. Hands up, and then hands away. And then, as we did with our feet, start to circle the hands. so that you're including the movement into the wrists. And again, one hand might circle more fully than the other. Doesn't matter. And then circle the hands in the opposite direction. And then just release the hands back to a comfortable position, either palms up for the moment or palms resting on the abdomen. And connect to the breath, noticing your in-breath and your out-breath. And then start by extending your right heel and keeping the right elbow bent. Snake the right arm up behind you and perhaps rest the back of the hand on the floor. Breathe in as you stretch your arm a little bit further. Your back might subtly lift at the base. And then just relax as you breathe out and lower your right arm, bending at the elbow. Let your right foot drop out to the side. Your palm can perhaps rest downwards, but it doesn't matter. And then engaging your left heel, extend it subtly away from you. And as you breathe in, raise your left arm up above you. Relax it as you breathe out. And breathing in, stretch the left arm away from you. And then when you breathe out, lower the left arm, bending at the elbow, and just totally let the left foot relax out to the left. And then come to bend one knee. Left one foot on the floor, and then the other knee, the other foot on the floor. And you might want to press on your feet to subtly lift your bottom and settle it back down on the floor so that you feel that your spine is straight or comfortable for you. And we're going to do a couple of pelvic tilts just to begin to wake the back up, the lower back, in the same way that we did with our feet and our hands. So your hands, palms are down and they press lightly into the ground or the mat to support you. And you flatten your lower back to the ground as if you're going to lift your bottom. And then just release so that your tailbone goes down towards the ground and there is a little gap under the lower back. If you put your hand there, you would feel that little gap. And then flattening the back to the ground as if you're going to lift your bottom, and then relaxing again. There's no effort, it's just a very gentle movement of the lower back, where the majority of the back is supported by the ground, and you've just got this subtle movement, this rocking from side to side. So this is particularly helpful for if you have a stiff lower back, but if you haven't, it still gives a gentle back and very safe back movement. The lower back is where all the work, heavy duty twisting and turning happens, and it's therefore the area that can so often get strain. And it's a lumbar vertebra of the L4 and the L5 that can kind of so often be implicated in back issues. And then just release and relax. And then hug one knee into the chest. And then hug the other knee into the chest. Just enjoy the semi-supine position, giving space at the lower back. And still holding both knees, just circle both knees in one direction. The circle can be small, or it can be larger, and you choose. And you'll feel that you're moving the top of the leg in the hip socket. So it's a very helpful movement for the hip joint, as well as the lower back. And then just very gently circle the knees in the opposite direction. You're moving with your breath. Tend to hug the knees into the chest as you breathe out, as your legs are given less space. And then you tend to breathe in as your legs come to the top of the circle. But again, this is just for you to relax, so no worries about the breath. And then very gently hold both knees into the chest. Still hold them as you let both knees drift to arm's length. Hug both knees into the chest. And breathing in, let both knees drift to arm's length. And notice whether your hands are doing the hugging in, or whether your abdominal muscles are doing the work. So, yogically and for the core, you would let the tummy muscles, the abdominal muscles, do the work. And so your hands on your knees would be a very light touch. But if you are enjoying the feeling, that comfort feeling of hugging the knees into the chest, then just relax and enjoy it. It's very helpful for the lower back, for the blood to be going up, the energy up the spine. And then just come to hugging the knees into the chest. And this time, as we breathe in, we're going to gently raise the left leg up to the ceiling, and the left arm bends and goes up behind you. It may tap the back of the floor. Extend the left heel. Stay here for an in and an out breath. Breathe in again. And when you next breathe out, hug the left knee into the chest. And just gently rock from side to side. It's a very subtle movement. And then when you're ready, breathe in as you raise your right arm. It can be bent at the elbow, and extend your right heel. Stay here as you breathe in and out. And on your next out breath, lower your right arm and bend your right knee in towards you. And then just very gently rock from side to side. Breathing in, we're going to come back to the left side. Left arm goes up, left heel extends. Check that the back of the neck is long, the chin may be subtly level or coming down to your chest. And breathing out, now hugging the left knee into the chest. Breathing in, we come to the right side, right leg up, extend the right heel, right arm behind. And breathing out, hugging the right knee into the chest. Breathing in, again, stretching behind you. Breathing out, hugging the knee into the chest. The right side, stretching up. And breathing out, hugging in. And then just very gently hug the knees into the chest. And holding both knees, circle them in the same direction. So you're beginning to massage around the base of the spine. And then very gently circle the knees in the opposite direction. And then holding your legs under the thighs to support them, bring one foot and then the other foot back down onto the ground. So your knees are bent, knees up to the ceiling and feet are on the ground and they're hip width apart. Palms are down on the ground. And we're going to start by very gently moving the head, keeping the head heavy on the ground to the left. And stay here as you take an in and an out breath. Bringing the head back to the centre and then turning the head to the right. As little or as much as you like, no tension, just a gentle turn. Chin is slightly in. And stay here for an in and an out breath. Come back to the centre. And once more to each side. Turn to the left. Stay here for an in and an out breath. When you're ready, breathe in as you bring your head back to centre. And breathing out, turn the head to the right. Staying here for an in and an out breath. And then come back to the centre. And this time move your feet slightly wider to the edges of the mat. Palms are down. Just gently sway both knees over to the right and your left hip will lift up a little bit. You can stay here for an in and an out breath. When you next breathe in, bring the knees to the centre and breathing out very gently, let both knees move to the left and your right hip will lift off the mat or off the ground. Stay here for an in and an out breath. And then start to move, coming back to the centre of the knees. Both knees move to the right on an exhalation. You might find that your head moves slightly. That's fine. Come back to the centre as you breathe in. And then breathing out, go to the left. And your right hip will lift slightly. And then just very gently let the knees sway from side to side. And your head might follow naturally, so don't think about it. Just let your head follow, if it does move, to how you want it to go. Yogic practice might have the head turning in the opposite direction, away from the direction of the knees, for an added rotation. But if you find your head naturally moves in the direction of the knees, that's fine too. This swaying from side to side is a somatic movement, and it follows a natural oscillation, circular type movement that you find in nature. It's very easy, or it's a very natural movement to make. From a movement perspective, this is the very beginning of a rotation. And a rotation, even though the spine is so supported, is aligning for the spine. If it's out of alignment, it's just beginning to ease the muscles on one side and then the other. You're beginning to work naturally on the neck here, because as the head is supported, you're turning your head perhaps gently from side to side. It's releasing out the neck muscles. There's no weight of the head to strain the neck, or for the body to keep the head on top of, engage muscles to keep the head where it is, so you could just, the neck muscles can relax. And just notice as you're going from side to side with the knees, if your shoulders are lifting up towards the ears, if they are, perhaps subtly lower them a tiny amount, as your shoulders relax too. And then finally bring the knees back to the centre. Just rest your palms on your abdomen. You might want to bring your feet to hip width apart. As you breathe in through the nose, notice the abdomen expand, and then breathe out through the mouth. And repeat a few times to your own breath pattern, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. This does many things, but one of them is to increase your uptake of nitric oxide. So it's boosting for the system as a whole. Toning. As the breath goes in, no trying, just releasing and relaxing. And then release the breath. And come to roll to the side. If the right side is available to you, this is away from the heart, but you're going to come to a seated position. So if it's available to you, roll to the right. Maybe stretch the right arm out. Rest your head for a moment. Take your time to come up. Press, if you're on to the right side, your left hand down. Bend your right elbow as you roll to come up onto both hands. And then bring the hands in as we come around. And then we're going to come onto our knees. Knees are hip width apart. Use your hands to slide up, to come to upright kneeling. And if you need support under your knees, a blanket or roll your mat, then that's fine. And breathing in, circle your hands up. They don't have to stretch right up, but just circle to where you're comfortable. And breathing out, bend your elbows, bend forward, and come to rest your elbows on the ground, curling in. As you breathe in, slide your hands towards you, where you can use your hands as support against your thighs to kneel up, and circling the arms up to where it suits you. And breathing out, lower the arms, bend forward, and then slide your elbows, your hands along, and come to rest on your elbows. Drop your head. When you next breathe in, slide your hands towards you to kneel up. And again, repeat. You can linger if you want to. And we're just going to do this a couple more times to your own breath pattern. Breathing in as you come up and breathing out as you ground down. Making this one the last one. Just rest forward, your bottom slightly up, your elbows are on the ground supporting you. Forward bend, it's very calming for the nervous system. And then perhaps for a couple of breaths, make fists with your hands. Rest your forehead on your hands. Maybe have your knees slightly wider. And come to bring your bottom a little bit back towards your heels. It doesn't have to come right down. And just take a couple of breaths here. Forward bend, child's pose variation. Noticing the breath now in the back, towards the back of the body. We're activating the third eye, which connects into the pineal and pituitary glands, and they're part of a master control or metabolic control. And then think about coming out of this by releasing the hands, palms down, and then slide the hands back towards your knees. And we're going to come to a seated position. You can sit in a cross-legged position. You can sit on a bolster. You can have the bolster almost as if you were riding. Just come to a comfortable seated position for you. And we're going to just revisit some of the somatic movement. So somatic movement very much connects us with our body, our mind. So it can be very soothing. And this first movement, there's nothing, very simple. Just place both hands to the sides of your face, and then your thumb is behind the ear. So that you're almost cradling your head in your hands. And just very gently lower the chin slightly to the chest, elbows are in. Connect to your rhythm, your body rhythm. Everything comes from the brain. The brain ultimately sends a signal to initiate movement. So here we're very much connecting our hands to our brain. We've got lots of little dents on the skull linking into acupressure points, normal points in Ayurveda. That's the medicine side of yoga, science of life. We're going to think about changing our hand position. And it doesn't matter which hand you use, bring one hand to the back of the head and one hand to the forehead. Your head's still forward, and you're just gently and very lightly pressing the back of the head and pressing your forehead. So it feels as if the hands are trying to come towards one another. The chin will naturally be towards the chest. And this activates the vagus nerve, which is calming again for the nervous system. It's an anti-inflammatory as well. The back of the neck that's long allows the energy to come through, way up the spine and through the back of the neck. And often get compressed, especially if we're working at computers or sitting at our desk, concentrating. And now think about still holding the head, but lifting the head upwards, sitting up. And keeping the head at the forehead, the back hand just drops to the chest, the heart centre. And so you'll feel that there's space between the heart centre and your forehead. You're lifting up, space for your lungs. And in this position there's space for the organs. It's unlikely you'll be slumping forward and compressing the organs. And space for the organs means that there is an invitation for optimal blood flow, and it's not being squashed. Space for the lungs. And then greater amount of oxygenated blood can start to flow through the organs. Keep the hand at the chest, and the hands at the forehead, drop that to the abdomen. I have a sense now that there is space. There's a very fine thread, it can be a golden thread or a silver thread, between your chest and your abdomen. And that thread is not crumpled, it's not taut, but it's just nicely held. And then you can either stay with your hands like this, or you've got the option to have both hands at the abdomen. Maybe turn your palms up slightly, maybe left and right, it doesn't matter. Or you can have both hands at the heart centre. Just choose a position that you feel comfortable with, that resonates with you. And breathing in. And breathing out. And just notice the breath that's slightly cooler as it comes in through the base of the nostrils. And follow the breath. Where does it go? And then as the breath turns round and comes out, it leaves the nostrils at the base. It's slightly warmer. There's no need to alter your breath, it's just simply noticing. The breath comes in through the base of the nostrils, smooth. Where does it go? And then just gently leaves, slightly warmer. The next time you breathe in, imagine that you put into your out-breath anything that's not serving you today, any emotion or any pain. Gather it up and just put it into your out-breath and breathe it out to the edge of the body. And just do that a couple of times, breathing in, letting go of anything that's not serving you today, and breathing it out to the edge of the body. And again, breathing in renewed air, and the out-breath carries anything that's not serving you today. And the next breath that you take in, it's the same, and you put in anything that's not serving you today, but you then push that breath a little bit further in your imagination to the edge of the world. And again, repeat that, breathing in, and then just letting the breath dissipate out, and imagine it far away to the edge of the world. And again. And now we do the same, but imagine the breath travelling even further to the infinity, to the end of the universe. Really just letting that breath And those thoughts and those pains just for the moment move away. And then, very cleansed, you've reset the body and the mind. So take a chin to the chest, taking a bow for yourself. And thank you very much for joining me today. And I'm going to read a card for the day, a random thought for the day. And today's random thought is, intention. So what is your intention for the day? And you can choose your intention, and again, think of that intention mentally, and then just let that go. And think of it again, and let it go. And think of it again, and letting it go. So, thank you very much. You can find more about me and more videos on the Yoga Mango YouTube channel, and also website is yogamango.com. So thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you next time.